Hi, myself Naveen Kumar Saini. In the course of wireless and mobile communication, code REC 085, today in the lecture 8 unit 2, we are going to discuss the wireless channel modeling. In the previous lecture we have covered the Rayleigh distribution AWGN channel characteristics and how it changed and with the parameters of the wireless system. Okay, so in continuation with that, we have come to know the 3 points. What are those? The 3 kinds of models, right? So these models, okay. So in this, we can see here. So these modeling are of 3 types: empirical models, semi-deterministic models, and the deterministic models. So in the empirical model, so it is based on the measurement of data, so which we are collecting from in wireless, and then the simple few parameters are comprised in that, which is used statistical properties. Okay, so which is not very much accurate basically. So for that we have the another step, that is the semi-deterministic models. So in that it is based on the empirical model plus deterministic. Okay. So next is the deterministic modeling. So in that there is site specific basically. So where it requires enormous number of geometrical location and location of the mobile phone, location of the all the equipments which are relying on the given surface area. Okay, and it is very much important, computational effort are imposed in that to get the accurate system. So in that series we will come to know the next step, that is the Nakagami fading model. So in the previously, as we have covered the Racine and the Rayleigh fading, so next is the Nakagami fading model. In that we also call it as the Nakagami distribution, or sometimes it is called the Nakagami M or Nakagami mu distribution. So which is fairly new probability distribution to get the PDF or CDF. So it was first approached, or it was first appeared in the 1960. Okay. So it is generalized way to modeling. Basically it happens in the small scale fading for the dense signal scattered. Okay. So in the previous lecture we also discussed about the how this fading are characterized, large scale fading or the small scale fading, but the Nakagami fading model is comprised in the comprised for the case of small scale fading and for the dense signal scattered, when there is a large number of the objects are there through which the signal is scattered. And this is also one of the most commonly distribution which is used for modeling of the right skewed. Okay, right skewed positive data set. Okay, so as we know about the right skewed is what? This is nothing but when we have this type of distribution, so it will be like this. So the tail position will be in this direction positively. So this is called the positive skewed or the right skewed model. So in the real world applications, so this is one of the generalized modeling fading model which is used for when we have the deep fade, okay, in the wireless communication system, and it is also used for the wireless signals and the radio wave propagation, and it is the application of this one is for the your breast tumors using the ultrasound imaging. So these are the basic applications through which this modeling of Nakagami can be used. So the getting the PDF for the Nakagami, so we have the PDF of this one is, we can write it like mu is equal to 2 times mu upon omega ki power mu and 1 upon gamma mu x ki power 2 mu minus 1 and e ki power minus mu x square divided by omega, where the Nakagami will be come into existence when we have the mu is greater than 1. If mu is 1, then it will become the Rayleigh fading. Okay. So, the mu factor is called the shape parameter, and omega, it is the scale parameters whose value is greater than 0 for all value of x greater than 0. For all x greater than 0, the omega value will be more than 0. So, these two are the very important parameters for the Nakagami, where mu is the shape parameter and omega is the scale parameter, or it is also the controlling spread. It is also called the controlling spread parameters. So, this parameter basically controls the spread of the distribution. Okay. So, these two parameters which combined, and it can determine the height, steepness and the concavity of the probability density curve. So, as we have discussed the curve in the Rayleigh fading or AWGN, so same PDF curve we can get it in the Nakagami M model. So, this distribution is only valid in the interval 0 to infinity. Okay. And in the another word we can say, if x is less than equal to 0, then the probability is 0. So, that is why we can also understand about this, when x is greater than 0, then and omega is greater than 0, then only you will get the curve, PDF curve in that. So, how this curve looks like? So, when you apply this PDF based on this, so we have two parameters mu and omega, shape parameter and the controlling spread parameter. So, based on this, when we take the curve of PDF, then we can see when omega mu is 0.5 and omega is 1. So, in that case you will get the curve like this one, blue color. Okay. So, this is the distribution of the Nakagami when the mu is 0.5 and omega is 1. Next, when we have mu is 1, in these three cases mu is 1, omega is 1. So, in this case this curve will be shifted to in this way like this. Okay. So, you can say this curve is mu is equal to, we can write it, mu is equal to 0.5 and omega is equal to 1. And this curve, green color, this is mu for, this is for the mu is equal to 1 and omega is equal to 1. Next, this red color, it is stepped down when mu is equal to 1 and omega is equal to 2. Okay. Third case is this color, you can say again when mu is equal to 2 or mu is equal to 1 and omega is equal to 3. So, this curve is stepped down when the value of mu is fixed, shape parameter is fixed, shape is fixed, but this spreading is controlled by the value of omega. With the omega of 1, 2 and 3, this spreading is going wider, we can see in this graph. Okay. For the mu omega is equal to 1, this is the spread. So, you can say this is the spread for this one here. Again, when omega is equal to 2, so this spreading like this one. When we have the omega is equal to 3, then is this spreading, for this case I am considering. So, this will be like this. So, omega is increasing, the spreading is also increasing. Okay. Now, when we have the mu is equal to 2 and omega is equal to 2. So, in this case we can see this curve will be like this. Okay. And mu is 2 and the omega is 2. So, this will be this curve, and when mu is very large, that is 5, omega is 1, so this value will be this one. So, we can write it for this case, so that we can understand easily. So, this curve will be when mu is 1, 5 and omega is equal to 1. So, similarly, when you fix the mu is equal to 5, the shape will be same, dumbbell shape, but omega is increasing, then this curve will be widened towards positive direction. Okay. So, this is the that is why we call it as the Nakagami M model. Fine. So, this Nakagami M model there is some points which we have to come across it. That is, if the envelope is the Nakagami distributed, then the corresponding instantaneous power is gamma distributed. Okay. So, as I have mentioned here, that is gamma mu, right, or gamma m, both are same thing. So, if the envelope is Nakagami distributed, then the corresponding instantaneous power is gamma distributed. Similarly, gamma m is called the shape factor, as we said, of the Nakagami or the gamma distribution. In a special case, when m is 1, when m is 1 or the mu is 1, because as I said, it is the mu or m. If it is 1, then it is the Rayleigh-Fading distribution, or the Rayleigh-Fading can be recovered in that. Okay. And with an exponential distribution, which I have seen with the instantaneous power. When the m is 1, then the fluctuations of the signal strength will reduce, and which compare to the Rayleigh-Fading. So, these are some points about the Nakagami fading channel. So, there is some comparison about the Rayleigh-Fading and the Racine and the Nakagami models, in that the Racine and Nakagami both fadings are two generalization of the Rayleigh-Fading. Okay. So, in the literature, in the Nakagami model is also often used for the analytical simplicity in the cases where the Racine fading would be a more appropriate model. Okay. So, another point about this is the Nakagami model is sometimes used to approximate the PDF of the power of the Racine fading model. Next, about the Nakagami model is not an appropriate approximation for the Racine fading. So, in the deep fade, okay, then the Racine and the Nakagami models have the fundamentally different densities for the deep fade. We know what the concept about the deep fade is, what, when the signal strength is less than the threshold value, then the signal will be in the deep fade. Okay. So, this is a comparative phenomena when we use the Nakagami model, Rayleigh-Fading or the Racine models. Okay. So, it has essentially different behavior for the deep fades. All the fading models have a different perspectives when we use it in our different scenarios in urban or rural areas, and the location based of the objects where it is signal is scattered. Okay. So, based on that, the outage probability will be come into the existence, and the error rate will be differ in all the fading models. Okay. So, after the Nakagami, we have another modeling, that is a Okumura model. So, what is the properties, or what are the some parameters which we use in the Okumura model? What is that? Let us have some feeling about it. That it is widely used for the signal prediction in the urban area. So, in the urban area, not the rural area, in the urban area or in the cities, we can apply the Okumura model, in that this is applicable for the frequency range, that is 150 megahertz to 1920 megahertz, and it is typically exploited up to the 3000 megahertz. But the frequency range through which it will work, this model will work between 150 megahertz to 1920 megahertz. Next, distance d parameter, this is between 1 kilometer to 100 kilometer, right. And third one is the transmit antenna effective height. So, this will be 30 meter to 1000 meter, and the mobile antenna height will be up to 1 meter to 10 meter. So, these are the three basic parameters or the restrictions for the Okumura models, okay, where the frequency range 150 to 1920, distance 1 kilometer to 100 kilometer, and the height of the transmitting and the you can say receiving antenna, that will be 30 meter to 1000 meter, and the mobile antenna, that is a receiving antenna height, that will be 1 meter to 10 meter. Okay. So, it is based on extensive measurements which we will get it when we are applying this Okumura model through different tools. Okay, one of the tool is the MATLAB which we know, and there is another tool also which we will discuss it here. So, the technique which we will apply, that is the which is required for finding this Okumura model parameter. For that, first of all we have to find the free space path loss, that is LF. We will get it from the equation which we have discussed in the previous lectures. Then determine the median attenuation related to the free space, and this parameter is the AMU. So, it is depend on the F and D, frequency and the distance, and we can get it through the curves. So, this value of AMU, AMFD will be, we can get it through the curve, and we will see it. Then add correlation gain factor for the transmitter and the receiver antenna heights, and we can get it also these things through the curves, okay, and through the give their equations. And the next is the area gain factor, and this one we will also get it through the different curves. So, what are the, how to solve this type of problems or the issues? We can get it most of the time, we will get it, we have the one equation, and those equation parameter we can get it through the curve. So, what is that equation? So, Okumura model equation is this one, L50 in dB. So, this equation in the dB. So, that is equal to LF AMU F comma D minus GHTE, then minus gain, that is HRE minus G area. So, what are these parameters? Let us have the feeling about it. L50. So, what is that? That is a 50th percentile, or the median also we call it as a median. We know the definition of the median. So, L50 dB, it is the value of propagation path loss between the transmitter and the receiver, which is expressed in the dB. So, this is the L50. Next is LF. This is what? Free space propagation loss in the dB. Then AMU FD. So, this is the median attenuation related to the free space, okay, and additional to the losses in the dB due to the propagation in the urban environment, right, when the transmitter and receiver at the reference heights. So, the important point in the Okumura model is it is used for the urban environment, and the frequency which I have just discussed about the 150 to 1920 megahertz, and the distance 1 kilometer to 100 kilometer, and the height of the receiving and the transmitting antenna, which we have discussed in the previous slide. Then GHTE is the base station antenna height gain factor in dB. GHRE, this is the mobile antenna height gain factor in the dB, and last is the G area. This is the gain due to the type of terrain in dB. It means the location of deploying the base station and the mobile phone. Okay. So, this is the gain due to the type of terrain in the dB. So, all these parameters value is given in the dB, and when we put it in here, then we will get the result of L50 dB, right. So, which is what? This is a median, total median between the transmitter and the receiver, or the path loss. Fine. Okay. So, where the LF we can calculate as the free space loss. So, this value is, as we know about this formula, about 32.45 plus 20 log D upon 1 per kilometer, we can get this one. Then in a given frequency, it will be 20 log f upon 1 megahertz, then minus 10 log GT, this is the gain of transmitting antenna, and 10 log of minus GR. So, the parameter which we are using here, that is the D, distance between the transmitter and the receiver, frequency is the operating frequency in the megahertz, and then we have the GT, this is the transmitting gain, GR receiving antenna gain, and the term which I just said, Okumura model, are the provided in the graphical form. Okay. So, graphical form of the family of the curves. So, how it looks like? Just like for example, I want to calculate the AMU, right. So, attenuation AMU FD. So, in that model we can see, so in this model additional propagation losses due to the signal propagation with these referenced conditions. So, what are those conditions? Terrestrial urban environment, as emphasizedly I am mentioning this, or a quasi static quasi smooth terrain, right. Base station height, that is effective antenna height, that is HTE 200 meter, and mobile antenna height HRE 3 meter. So, with this condition, if the actual heights of the transmitting and receiving antenna, the propagation type area type differ from those reference, then approximate the correction needs to be needed. But what is important in that, if for a given suppose we want the value at 1000 frequency, okay. So, if we have this frequency 1000 megahertz, f is 1000 and the distance is 50. So, here 50 is this curve. So, this is the curve of the 50. So, where it is intersecting? So, if you are moving from here and this curve will intersect at this point, right. So, this is the curve of 50. So, correspondingly what will be the value of AMD? So, for this one, this value will be like this up to here. So, this value will be approx 45. So, the AMU value is 45. Similarly, if we have the 500 frequency and distance is 40. So, in this case I have this is the 40 and this is the 500. So, this is the intersection. So, corresponding to this, the value of AMU will be this one. This is what this value will be approximately 38. So, this is the value of AMU FD. So, based on this you can find the value of AM. This is attenuation factor which we can calculate through the graph. Next, suppose for base station effective height gain GTE. So, when it is increasing or when it is decreasing, so it can get it through this graph. So, for that we know that at effective height of 200 meter, all curves meet, no correction gain is required, GT will be 0 dB. So, it will be at this one. So, you can see. So, effective base station height is at 200, there is no gain. Okay. So, there is no gain required, there is no correction is required, but when we are moving more than this value, then this will be the positive gain. When we are moving in this direction, it will be negative gain. Okay. And the range of HTE will be 20 log of HTE upon 200, and the range for this is greater than 30 meter to less than 1000 meter. I mean from here to up to here, right. So, this is the gain factor. So, which is in between the 30 meter in this side and the 1000 meter. So, in between this we can get the gain, or the Okumura gain can be varied from the 30 meter to 1000 meter. Okay. Okay. So, effective antenna transmitting antenna height, it is fluctuate in between 3 kilometer to 15 kilometer. So, the terrain is averaged along the direction of radio path over the distance between the 3 to 15 kilometers. Then the effective antenna height, which is determined to the difference between the height of the BTS and the height of the average. So, this is the height. Okay. Similarly, we can find it for the GRE. So, again you can see at a height of 3 meter. So, there is no gain, at this point, and less than, I mean less than 3, and so or the more than 3, you will get the gain. So Okumura model found the GRE varies at a rate of 10 dB per decade for the mobile heights less than 3 meter, and varies at a range of 20 dB per decade for the between 10 to 3. Okay. So it is varying from less than 3 and the more than 3 to 10. So this is the range of varying of antenna height. Similarly, we can also find it if we have different areas like suburban area, quasi open area, or the open area. So based on that, you can calculate correction factor, that is G area. So for that we can get it if we have the frequency of 500 megahertz. So correspondingly, what will be the value at the urban area? So this value will be like this. So this value, suppose this one is 5, 6, 7, approx 5.5, 6, 7, 7.5. So this is the value. So you can, if you scale it properly, then you will get a 7 value or 8 value, like that. If at the frequency of 500, again you can calculate the value of GRE at in the environment of quasi open area, or again at the open area, this value will be like this. You can calculate of the value of G area. So G area can be calculated with the different type of terrain values. So these terrain are suburban area, quasi open area, or the open area. So at the different frequencies, at one frequency you will get the different G area values on a given system. Okay. So another way of optional correction factors are mentioned, like terrain unmodulated height delta H, isolated rigid height, average slope of the terrain, mixed length C parameters, and the once the terrain related parameters are calculated, the necessary corrections factor can be added or subtracted as per requirement. So there is some benefits or the advantages or disadvantages of the Okumura model. So in the Okumura model, this is wholly based on measurement data, as I just mentioned. In many situations it is extrapolations, and it depends on the circumstances and the smoothness of the curve in the question, right. As I just mentioned, the value of AMU you can calculate through the curve. So smoothness of the curve is very important in that, and major disadvantage is a slow response to the rapid change in the terrain. Then fairly good in urban area and suburban areas, but not good as a rural area. So Okumura model, you can do the modeling in a system which is have the urban area or the suburban area, right. So commonly standard deviations between the predicted and the measured path loss values, it can be around between the 10 to 14 dB. Okay. So this is the range through which you can get the value of this one. So this is the tool which can plot Okumura model parameters. So web plot digitizer tool is there, which is free and online system. You can get it and you can apply your concept in that, and you can find the different curves, and you can automatically, when you run it, then you can see where the where you are getting the G area point, right. So all these things you can get it, and these are the steps. When you apply this, then you will get the correct answers. So just for example, I am just getting this for variable parameters D, these values, and AMU is this one. So constant parameters are F, HB and HM in urban area. Then you can see the path loss increases exponentially as the transmitter and receiver separation distance increases. So you can see in this diagram, you can see as the distance is increasing, then this path loss is also increasing exponentially, not linearly, little bit linear, but it is exponentially. So this path loss factor will be increased like that. Okay, so with another fashion you can see the path loss also increase linearly when we have this type of parameters as the frequencies are varies and the AMU is also varying. Then constant parameters in this case, in the previous case distance was increasing, but here the distance is fixed. HB is 200, base station height, HM mobile phone height is 3 meter, and also the urban area, this is the scenario where we are applying this concept, and you can see this the path loss again increasing as the frequency is increasing, you can see. Okay. So, as the frequency increasing the path loss also increasing, but the distance is fixed between the transmitter and the receiver. Okay. So, next example again you can see the path loss decreases exponentially as the BS effective height increases. So, this is the benefit or the beauty of the communication, where when you increase the height of the transmitting antenna, then the path loss factor will be reduced. Why? Because the this is very less obstacle will be there between the transmitter and the receiver. Okay. So, in this the mobile phone you can say the base transmitting antenna height is varying 30 to 1000 and constant parameters are there, f is there at frequency of 1000 megahertz, distance 20, HM3, AMU is 32.9, this is a fixed value, but again the scenario is urban area. So, in that case you can see the path loss is decreasing like this as the effective base station height is increasing. Okay. So, this is one of the concept which you can go through it, and another parameters also there. When the mobile phone station height is increasing, then again the path loss will be decreased, but there is some limitation also for the height of transmitting antenna and receiving antenna in a given scenario or the in urban area. So, we have to consider all these phenomena, all these problems when we go for the simulation part. Okay. So, this is the case of the quasi open right, we can see it here, and the urban area. So, how this in a given area environments, suburban, quasi open area or the open area. So, how this Okumura model path loss will be decreased. Okay. So, when we are using the different area environment, it is mentioned, and the parameters also mentioned here, that G area for the suburban or the quasi open area or the open area, these values are fixed. So, based on this value, what are the path loss value which we can get it through here. So, suburban this one here, and quasi open right this one, and next is the open area. Okay. So, path loss is decreasing continuously. Last, that is the Okumura-Hata model. I just want to give one feel of this portion also. It represents the curve fitting. Okay. So, curve fitting of the Okumura's original result. So, it is the one step ahead of the Okumura-Hata model, where the application, it will be applicable when the transmitting antenna effective height is 30 meter to 200 meter, and the mobile antenna height, this is 1 meter to 10 meter. Okay. Then the frequency range for this one is 150 megahertz to 1500 megahertz, and the transmitting and receiving antenna distance will be 1 kilometer to 20 kilometer, and the path loss we can calculate. So, this path loss can be calculated with this formula, that is PL is equal to A plus B log D plus C. So, what is the A, B and C component? So, in that A, B, C, these are the factors which depends on the frequency and the antenna height. So, these two are the factors which depend which is used for getting the value of A, B and C. So, A you can calculate from here, B you can calculate for this, where you can see that the A is depends on the frequency and the height of the antenna, maybe of base station or maybe of the mobile phone. Okay. So, B factor is depend on the height of the base station. So, FC this is the frequency which is given in the megahertz, and the distance D will be in the kilometer. Okay. So, this is one of the very important parameter to know about the about the Hatta model. So, we call it as a Okumura Hatta model, right. So, this is similar, but in the case for the with the Okumura, but there is some difference of using the Okumura model in different perspectives. So, that is a curve fitting. Okay. So, this is one of the key point of this Okumura Hatta model, which is used for the curve fitting portion. Okay. So, the function here AHM and the factor C, it depends on the environment. So, what is that? Small and medium sized cities are there. So, what is the again urban environment? Because the Okumura used in the urban environment, the Hatta model also used in the urban environment, but here the AHM will be equal to, which is depend on the FC, HM, again FC is there, C will be constant or the 0 in the metropolitan area. So, this AHM value will be like this and like this. So, what is the where it will work? When the f is less than 200 megahertz and f is greater than equal to 400 megahertz. So, these are the values of AHM which we can calculate it from here. Then suburban area environment, the value of C, it will be minus 2 log FC upon 28 square minus 5.5. So, these are the experimental values basically. So, there is no need to go for the derivation of all this, because these all our values are the experimental. Okay. So, in the rural area, if we have this, then the value of C constant, C value will be, which is depend on the FC. Okay. So, this AHM, this is in the suburban or the rural area, which is same for the urban areas, small and medium sized cities. Okay. So, in this way we can apply this complete model in our simulation part in the MATLAB. We can use this model directly. There is some syntaxes are also available in the MATLAB tool in 2020, you can see, and all the Rayleigh fading, Nakagami, Okumura or the Okumura Hatta model. So, these all models keys, points or the syntaxes are also given in the MATLAB tool. So, if you go for the electronics communication toolbox or LTE toolbox, then you can see this type of factors. So, just for example, I just want to say last one I am just going it, that the Okumura Hatta model, in that when the variable parameters d is varying and correspondingly constant values of HB in urban area and F, then you can see that the path loss will be increasing as the distance of transmitting and receiving antenna is increased. Okay. So, this is one of the model which we can go it. Okay. Similarly, we have another concept we can see, when the frequency is increasing, again the path loss will increase. With the base station effective height, when it is increasing, the path loss will be decreasing, and when the MS or the mobile station antenna height is increasing, then again the path loss will be decreasing, right. So, these all are the some parameters in different environment itself, where urban, metropolitan, suburban and the rural area, you can see how this path loss value will be, you can get it. So, all these things are given. Okay. Okay, so these are the pros and cons. You can go through this slide yourself, because everything which we have discussed, and it depends on the effective height and distance between the transmitting and receiving antenna. Okay, thank you very much from my side. In the next lecture, we will again discuss some more intuition of the modeling in the wireless communication. Thank you very much.